Hello, welcome to Retro Toy Princess. I am Allison Troy, and I am joined today by my guest, Alpha Magnus.
Hey, welcome. Greetings.
Yeah,
Right.
and all the stuff. Let's see. Quickly, we'll pop over to the chat. It's early in the day, so we may not have. We've got Rhea Black is here, so lovely. Thank you for popping in. It's pretty early for most. A lot of my people are West Coast, so we may not have anyone.
West Coasters.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just noon here. Oh my god. I was like gonna go down to the mall, and I took the I-05 through. I can't even. It's been so long since I've been in LA. I don't even know where all the stuff is anymore. Everything changes so fast. Really quick, we're gonna call her in chat today, and if you would like, what is the art that we are coloring today, Alpha Magnus?
So, it's one of those deals. It's like a phenomenon where everyone has an idea at the same time. And I had this idea maybe about 2 months before everyone else did, I think. It was just like a culmination. And then I started sketching this, but it was right when they announced the Street Sharks figures. Suddenly, across the board, a morphic field was broken, and everyone thought, wouldn't it be cool if Vin Diesel was a Street Shark, since he was in the original promo for it, doing the head shark and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I rammed this thing out. I got this thing done overnight and posted it, but I never colored it because that's not my forte. But I figured for this live stream this would be a good one.
Yeah, no, it's perfect for it. So Vin Diesel, F-I-N-N. Diesel.
I just called it Diesel because I didn't want it to be like, if Mattel was to make it and they called it Vin Diesel, they're gonna owe Vin Diesel money.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever, you call it whatever you want. It's not
as long as it's fan art, you can call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
Do anything. It's until you try to sell it. Really quick. The banner across the bottom of the screen today. One, your reminder, Moby is trash. Never forget. But more importantly, today I've got the link to Alpha Magnus's YouTube channel. You should go subscribe, check it out. What do you do over on your channel?
Started with just doing toy reviews and stuff so that I would open figures, because if not, they sit in boxes until the end of time. So I decided to just start doing that, and now I've gone back into the fold of doing customs. 24 years ago, I was doing Transformer customs. I've gotten away from those, A, because their plastic that they use is really hard to paint too, in my opinion, and then B, Motu's what's hot.
Right.
So Motu was my first love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Motu also is, in my opinion, really easy to custom, especially Origins wise, just because of the
Origins are beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very for people who want to learn to custom, but are sort of like, I don't know how. Origins is really easy because you can really just swap parts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of Origin. You know, like Mossman is just Beastman green, and or is just a repaint of Merman. So
I was actually looking around to see if I had one that was just purely a swap. I think I put most of those in the collection already.
Yeah.
Most of them that I have out are at least somewhat of a custom.
Nice. I was gonna get some of mine to like have, because I custom as well, and just haven't been as much. It's funny how you start making YouTube videos and all of a sudden, especially because I do the coloring, like so much of my time is coloring now. But I'm gonna start getting back to customizing stuff. Also, heads up, everyone. It's early and words are hard. So Don't judge
What time
me.
is it there? 3, 2,
It's
2.
noon. It's
Oh, it's
noon.
noon. Oh, that's
It's
not early.
it's not early, but I don't didn't have to go to my day job today, so I was up late doing research and whatnot and writing scripts.
Yeah.
And so I was up till like 2 or 3 my time, and then got up at like 6:37 so I could go get errands and stuff out of the way. So that
Well, that's
I
early.
can do this, and then the rest of the day I'm gonna work on coloring videos. So it worked out.
So you got an early start. You didn't get an early.
Yeah, but
Not
most
early
of
now.
what I had to go do, I didn't need to be verbal or verbose or like grocery store stuff. It's all self checkout if you're lucky, and you can just grunt at people when they're like, "Do you need help?" Like, "No, I don't. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Let me get to the cheap, discounted 2-day old bread." Because that is the one thing I've discovered as I get older. I've turned into one of the bread ladies, where you like go to the day old bread aisle, and it's a giant bag of fruit bagels that I would normally never even give a second thought, but it's 89 cents. You're 17 in a single bag. I'm in. So there's that, and I need a diet soda so I can survive the weekend. Now that I don't drink alcohol in my later years, I had some champagne for my birthday last weekend, but otherwise I don't really drink. I have a pretty intense diet coke habit, so I can't remember what color Van Diesel's eyes are, so I'm just gonna pretend he's got blue-green eyes and call it good.
I did these like they were from Riddick. That was my
Yeah,
idea. Is to Riddick them.
yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
What are you? Wait, I forgot. I'm gonna pretend this is a little bit more of the. I should pretend more that I'm a coloring channel. What are you coloring with today? What is your tool of choice?
Oh, I just picked these up from Michael's.
Nothing
I
wrong with
couldn't
that.
find all of them. I found like 3 of my markers from before. I
Yeah,
used to use markers, and that was
yeah.
better. Give me
Nothing
one
wrong
second
with
though. I'm gonna
markers.
check something here
Not a problem.
because of course nothing. I get 0 texts until 2 seconds before, and then now
Yeah,
like 3 during this live stream.
that's how it
Uh,
works. People are like,
yeah,
"Hey, I can psychologically sense through the intuition I normally don't have that suddenly you're busy. Let me bug you a little." Yeah, that's pretty standard. Um, Especially because if you're using your phone for live streaming stuff, you can't really go into airplane mode with it anyway. So
yeah.
that's what all of these companies need to figure out is a way that you can go into like private mode so that whatever mode you're in doesn't get interrupted. Because I
Well,
know. Sorry.
this one was an important one.
Okay.
Um,
No, that's fine.
it's well, mine isn't available, but I guess they found the Merman Turtles of Grayskull on Walmart's website,
Oh, nice.
and it
Yeah,
was
I do.
available to order, but it was
Oh, sweet.
only certain regions. And I just
Yeah,
tried it, and it says, "Uh oh, this doesn't exist." So I'm assuming
yeah.
they already got taken
It's
down.
not mine either. Thanks, Toy Habits. We love you for that.
Yeah,
Michael and the Toy Sorceress doing the heavy lifting. They're good people, though. I quite enjoy them. They're the whole reason I do YouTube. Well, not the whole reason, but they're a big part because I was being all, oh my god, you guys, here's some Princess of Power stuff that you should probably know before you try to do videos on this. And instead of being the typical YouTuber, toy guru, Michael was really nice and was like, "Hey, why don't you come on an episode and talk about Princess of Power?" And here we are, all these years later. So, mad
yeah.
props, Toy Habits. Like, not even he didn't even like ask like, "So have you ever done anything on the internet ever?" And it's like, other than being sassy in comments, not really. No. So it was luckily they did pre-records back then. It was before Toy Sorceress joined, and when he had his old co-host. So they did pre-records back then, so it was a little bit easier because anything terrible he could just edit out. So, but
None of them F bombs like I'm gonna be dropping.
oh, that's fine. It's just
No.
no. I drop them all the time too. I'm PG. I had because I do shorts every day right now. I'm in tail end of my daily shorts for a year project, and I had because I do like I only do 80s properties, and Star Wars, which is eternal. And sort of Motu, but we all know that the type of Motu I'm doing is the vintage 80s stuff. So that's adult toy collectors. I had somebody comment on one of the Strawberry Shortcake posts because of one of the songs I picked. This song isn't for kids, and it's like my channel is not. It's like like it's geared toward adult coloring and adult toy collectors. And
I every time I'm like, why isn't there an option to just make it so that YouTube doesn't ask me that stupid is this for kids? Can we just make it so that it never asks that and it's just always
right. I think because I back when I set up the channel I picked like I said, this is not a kids. I think what and the problem is though is the YouTube doesn't really have a way to. I mean, I guess they do, but it would be really, like if a parent just gives their kid a phone, their kid's just gonna go with it. Like, if it's already got YouTube on it.
I worked. Well, hey, I can say that I worked at Best Buy for like 17 years. I no longer work there. But when I worked in the gaming department, adults would come in there, and I had this grandma come in one time, and she's like, I don't want to buy my grandson Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, good. Probably shouldn't have it. How old is he? 8. Exactly. There are ratings for this reason. Well, he really wants this one instead, and picked up Saints Row.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Saints Row 3, maybe 4.
Right.
It was the one that had the phallus gun, the gun that shot rubber penises at your enemy. And I'm like, that is worse.
That one's way worse.
Grand Theft Auto. She's like, oh, you don't think I should get it for him? I'm like, no. So she texts the parents, and the parents say, okay. And she's just like, all right, well, we're getting this one. I'm like, cool. Deal with your insane criminal child.
Yeah, right. Like,
don't listen to this guy. He doesn't know what's going on.
It was just, and it was just a comment like, this song is not for kids. And it's like, yeah, no, like I specifically pick songs that will appeal to like adults because I want adults to watch my stuff. And I don't know.
Yeah, well,
weird sort of.
That's the problem though, is that we do our part by saying, no, this is not for kids.
Yeah.
Who cares about anything else? Because as long as you don't do that, they could report you, and it doesn't matter. But if you put that this is for kids and had a song that they maybe decided was, you put Rocky Mountain High on there, and someone says it's not, it's about getting high on drugs, they are going to ban your channel. So as long as you hit that, no, it's not for kids every time, you have done your part for society.
Yeah. Well, it's just, like
their problem after that.
Yeah, for sure. I don't. It's just sort of weird to me, like, the parents, sort of kids have access to like stuff, and and some of it I think is, and this is the sort of thing. One of the reasons I try to pick, like, I found some really cool images of the CGI He-Man characters, and I'm like, no, those, like this is a kid show, even though some of, like my adult audience enjoy those characters. Not everybody likes the new He-Man. I enjoy the new He-Man designs, but I was like, that definitely is, like a kid's audience. But it's just, I do think there's some parents who don't understand adult coloring or adult toy collecting. So like, I think sometimes maybe they just, oh, it's coloring, it must be for kids, or like that'll be safe for you. And it's like, there's a lot of stuff that they that was for kids in the 80s that was really not for, like,
I could take it though if someone said coloring. I could take it if someone said He-Man. But some of the stuff that I see people complaining this isn't for kids. It's like, what kid is watching this?
Yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah, and then that's,
what kid is going to be like, oh, Golden Girl from the '80s? That's something I'm interested in. Like, there
yeah,
might be one or two,
there might
but
be.
I've seen some of your videos, and none of them are like.
I
It's not
try.
like it's
It's
doing Wiggles content here or
yeah,
something.
right. That's why I try. That's why I try to pick pages that are especially Golden Girl. Like I go. Of course, I think that's part of why TikTok decided one of my Golden Girl pages was adult content and sexual at that. I was very confused.
I
Um,
saw that one,
there's a woman with the
but
bow and arrow.
yeah. So I
I'm
don't.
wondering if it was where her hand was, because
Yeah, who knows? So then the funny part is that I see people post. A lot of times it's on Instagram, but like I got a plenty of cosplayer friends and females and whatnot, and they'll post stuff, and if they show any bit of butt,
right.
immediately it gets taken down. But then if you look, you will literally see 1,000 videos on my For You page that are that. And
Yep.
I'm like, this is literally like a mostly naked person dancing around. But I'm seeing it on my For You page. But
I was watching.
I'm not
Yeah,
seeing the cosplayer stuff that is not the bad stuff. So I'm like, this makes no sense. The
yeah. It's.
whatever law algorithm these guys have put forward is not correct.
I mean, it's like I'm not complaining. I have a lot of Australian strippers who
There we
follow
go.
me. Their version of Magic Mike. I don't know how the Instagram gods blessed me, but like when I first got my Instagram, one of them followed me, and then they all follow me. Now, anytime there's a new one, like I'm one of the first people they follow. So thank you, Instagram gods. But based on what they post, I'm just like, but I've had friends who, not even technically doing cosplay, just I mean, like dressed up for an event or something, like sort of fair weather cosplay, I guess, like Halloween, or like, oh, I'm gonna go to Comic Con,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
do
Someone's
cosplay
party.
just for this. Who've gotten flagged. It's just weird. Really quickly, hello, Largo. Welcome. Largo says, "Greetings, beautiful people." That includes you too, Alpha Magnus. So, um, and is it appropriate for me to call you Alpha Magnus, or should I call you by something more?
No,
Something.
that's perfectly
Okay.
fine.
Just want to make
I,
sure.
my name is literally. Oh well, I actually can't say it's over here. If I was to move that a little over, it doesn't matter. So
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure. Like some people were really specific, like I am only this,
so
or this is
a
a
couple years
channel.
ago, I had some legal issues. There have been since fixed. So I was like, no, we are 100% Alpha Magnusing every possible thing we can right
No,
now.
that's fair.
But right now it's fine. Yeah, I'm good.
No,
I still go by my battery name.
no, not a problem. I just realized I should have asked before we went live, but I just was like,
Yeah.
it's a superhero. And I mean, obviously Troy is not my legal last name, so um, it's an old name I used to use when I did gigs and open mics and whatnot. So it sort of carried over. Um, Ironically, I use it, a, like that's even though it's technically not my legal last name at this point, I use it all the time. It
Yeah,
might as well be.
I'm wondering when I'm gonna have to start using like this as my alias, like on legal paperwork.
Yeah,
Because at one point I was more this than anything else.
yeah. Well, yeah. It's like it was weird. I had to use my legal last name on something the other day, and it was like, oh yeah, that's right. It is that is that is still my legal last name. Okay.
Oops.
Oh my goodness. I went to write the T instead of the other thing, and I was like, oh, okay. It's just, like somebody was like, somebody asked me about it one time, and they were like, oh, is it because of stalkers? I'm like, my stalker knows me by this name, so
Yeah.
like it's not at this point. It's just I have to be careful about who knows where I'm at. That's why I'm pretty. It's why I would never give out my address to just anyone, but like, the type of the stalker that I had/have has enough info to find me, and that's fair.
I've been there. I had someone print out my MySpace page and leave it on my car at home.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, we owned things together, so it's kind of like
Oh well, that's even.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's even harder.
But somebody tries to throw you off of the balcony, and like it's more
that
about
did not
like,
happen for me.
yeah, that did for me, but luckily there was a paring knife pretty handy, so he did not walk away. He
So
dragged himself across the kitchen floor. It was pretty. I laughed. I shouldn't have laughed because I, almost got thrown off the balcony, but it was funny. The whimper. Oh my God, what did you do? It's like, what did you make me do, sir? Anyway. Yeah. Hello. Yep. Thanks, Toy Mama. Yep. Definitely catch us when you've got the time. Land shark, Candy Graham. Yeah. Oh my goodness. You're that shark. I know it. Alpha Rooster. Yeah. I think I can see why somebody would say no on that one. So, but Land shark, Candy Graham. You're that clever shark. As a kid, that was one of my favorite Saturday Night Live skits. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I guess I'm making him purple. I don't know why.
Because it's coloring, and that's what color you want to make them. I'm going with the boring sort of shark blue. I used a light blue. Now I'm using a periwinkle, which is like a grayish blue, and Prismacolor.
I was trying to figure out what color Street Shark didn't exist, and I'm pretty sure that there wasn't a purple one.
I don't remember there being one. I didn't collect Street. Oh, I got the whistle. Thank you.
Pretty sure it was blue, brown,
but
light blue, and then like there was like another blue. There's a lot of blue ones. I mean, that's a shark color to people. But so those ones are realistic. But then they're like, oh, he's a whale shark. Oh, what color are whale sharks? I guess brown. They didn't even look.
At some point, you have to sort of make those toys pop. I had heard of, like, I'd heard sort of the commercial in the background, but they sort of came out in between, before I really started adult toy collecting, because for me, it ended like in, like 87, 88. Around the time Motu, Princess of Power, died. That was about when I was getting into middle school age, and sort of like, you're too old for toys.
Mine was, I discovered video games.
Ah.
So I never like fell out of toys.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. So I just discovered video games, and I'm like, these I like better than this. So I still watched all the shows.
Yeah.
Like, I was one of the people who, I don't remember what year it was, but Power Rangers came out, and like a lot of people that I knew were like, "You're too old for Power Rangers." I'm like, I'm like 10. How is that?
Yeah, right.
But, so then I ended up watching like until like Lost Galaxy, which is like way later. That was like I think 2000. So it's like I watched a lot of them, but I didn't like buy toys or do anything like that with them. I just had I liked the shows. That was kind of it.
Yeah.
I watched RoboCop, anything sci-fi. It had less to do with the fact that it was made for kids and more to do with if it was sci-fi or not.
Right. Yeah, Power Rangers came out, I think, my first year of college. So I mean the American, because it used to be like little snippets of it on Night Flight that I remember from when I was a kid, but that was, like not dubbed, and that was not made into a serious show. Um, but one of the kids I babysat for was really into Power Rangers, and then I worked at Blockbuster, so we would often have Power Rangers on to try to move all those VHS copies.
Oh, what's
Um,
this? I want to watch this. Buy
yeah,
it.
right. I will wholeheartedly admit at the time I'm like, oh my god, this is so dumb. But
Well,
I was that
so
that
my
20.
love for it was less Power Rangers and more. This is like Godzilla. Why is this not on all the time? So
Right.
growing up, I had, let's see, like probably the '60s through the early '80s of Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point, Largo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Duchess is here. Hello, Duchess. I think Duchess also, I think, dropped new merch today. So if you are into buying merch and you're watching this on the replay, go check out Duchess's store and get you some merch. Do you have merch yet? Alpha
Me?
Magnus? Yep.
I just have my Public.
Okay.
Not really doing merch. I hand out stickers at cons when I do cosplays and stuff, but I don't really mess around with crazy amounts of merch, because the problem with that is then you have to then transport said merch everywhere.
Yeah.
And not to be self-deprecating, but like, I don't know too many people that are gonna be like, oh sweet, I gotta buy this Alpha Magnus thing. Like, they do when they're at cons and they see you, but it's a little less when you're not like
Right.
a celebrity. Like, I told that to Brick and on one of his things that he's getting real close to losing his lesser YouTube status.
Oh yeah, he's getting well. I mean, like the whole AWOC thing. He's sort of.
You get too big, you lose that. You can't be a carrot top when you're Jim Carrey. Yeah.
Right.
he's
Oh,
going up above Carrot Top of professional amateur.
Oh, Carrot Top.
No, yeah, he's fine, but he's also one of those people that knows his place. He had what, 2 movies maybe?
He had one I know of because it came out when I worked at Blockbuster, and that was him and Courtney Thorne Smith. And
Not Over the Top, Chairman of the Board. That's what.
Right? That was the one.
Yeah. But he was in another movie, but it was just like you never saw him again. Yeah. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna make a good living in Vegas being a weirdo, and that's fine. Penn and Teller have gotten a little bit higher up in that status.
Yeah.
But then it's like, there's David Blaine's out there that are making billions of dollars to look like an idiot. We all have levels, and once you hit that level, I mean, once I'll put it this way: once your merch is paying for your bills, that's when you know you've made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see when people come to see you in Vegas and they're wearing your shirt when they get there, and they buy another shirt while they're there.
Yeah, I do like T-shirt designs for some people. And one of the things I did was for it's a DT Jam with 3 A's. He's a cosplay photographer. Yeah. And I literally just had an idea. I went for it. And like, that's kind of when you know that you've made it. He is big enough that someone just unsolicitedly made a T-shirt for you. Yeah. So once I start getting that'll be good. How many subs do you have on here? I don't even look.
I've got. Let's see, that's a good question. I haven't checked today. Let's see. I am at 579 subscribers.
I think we're pretty close then to the same.
Yeah, we should be around the same area. I'm at the I'm above my goal. I set a goal every month of like where I want to be, watch hours and subscribers, and I think I had set my goal for this month at 550 subscribers. So I'm quite a bit above that because I started with like 530. So my goal every month is like to try to add 15 to 20 subs. So
And that's a realistic one.
yeah,
I want 10 billion.
I don't. Yeah, maybe eventually. What sort of?
I don't even know if that many people use YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know that there's that. I mean, Mr. Beast doesn't have that many.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've scaled it. Like I purposely right now, I'm happy sort of with my goal. Like like
Well,
like July 1st was the first time I uploaded any content. Besides my opening, but I actually uploaded some content on July 1st, so that'll be my 1 year of actually making content for YouTube. If I can get to 700 by that point, I'll be happy. Might be unrealistic, but that's where I would like to be with my subscribers by then. And by the end of my 2nd year, I'd like to be at 1,200.
So. I also have the problem where like I'm trying not to be like I could do the blippy thing that some other YouTubers do, where they're like, "Hey, wow, ooh.
Right?"
I have a very small battery for that.
Yeah, same.
So it's like you're gonna get what you get and be happy with it. And I wasn't really trying to do that, but like I got real depressed around when COVID hit because I saw all these people who had the same amount of subs as me. They get laid off. They get $600 a month to stay at home, or a week to stay at home, and I'm working my butt off making less than that.
Right.
And then I'm like, watch my channel. I mean, wasn't Geek Dad Life one of the ones that was like 2 people, and then now they got 1 billion?
Yeah. Well, that. Yeah. I mean, some of that helped that he hosted that debate. That's
having that it's a choice. So I'm currently at a point in my life where I have the ability to make that jump. It's coming very quick.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my next goal is surviving the time being so that I can make something of it. I'm not going to try to like be like a big YouTuber or anything like that, but I'm definitely going to try to make some stuff. I've my aforementioned toy company.
Yeah.
I've brought that up a billion.
That sort of as you can sort of see with like say Bobby Valla with AWOC. The YouTube presence will definitely help you sell some items.
Well, the other thing with that is you see these toy companies that didn't exist a year ago are now like hiring people left and right. So it's like it's not, I wouldn't say heartwarming, but it's definitely inspiring to like what am I doing? What am I doing here?
Right.
Why am I working this 9 to 5 to do that when I have creativity enough? And this is my problem too. Until very recently, I did not realize the scope of how some people just do not have creative genes in them.
Right.
I was always of the belief that everyone had that in them, and I don't think it's true anymore. Because growing up, that's how they taught you. Oh, everyone's a special little angel who could do everything that they want. No, there's a lot of people that flipping burgers is as creative as they get.
Well, there are a lot of people who it's not even necessarily creativity. It's just like that's.
Yeah, I'm talking the base level.
Yeah.
Doing this is creative enough.
Oh, yeah.
Like just coloring something, and there are people who cannot do this. Like this is too much.
Yeah.
Like their idea of creative is taking apart an engine. So I can't do that. Everybody's got their own skills, but growing up, you're like in art class, the art teacher's like, anybody can do this. Like, no, not anybody can, and not anybody can take an engine apart.
Yeah. I'm of the sort of I think anyone can sort of do creative things. I think not everyone can do the same kind of creativity. Like
correct, yeah. Not
like
everybody
for instance,
can.
with like coloring, I think pretty much if you have a desire to be creative in color, I think you can do it. Because honestly, there's some parts of coloring is just sort of learning a process for it. There are a
And
lot of
I'm
people in the adult coloring space who are not necessarily, they could never create, but they can do some amazing stuff. Like, it's really cool.
yeah. So and that's where it is. There is a want for it. There are some
Yeah.
people who do not want that.
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
not something that they even see as being like a viable reason. Yeah,
Oh,
creativity in many forms. But I've met people who like, oh hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm gonna go shoot me some squirrel in the backyard. And then you watch this guy use like some handmade device to go shoot at squirrels in his backyard. Like that, I mean, that's creativity right there. But is that something that is in a capitalist form
right. Well,
quantifiable?
yeah.
Uh,
Um,
I'll put it this way: there's two girls that I know on Instagram who one uses axes and one uses chainsaws, and they have like 1 million followers. So guess what? You're being creative,
oh yeah.
whether you
No,
like it or
I've
not.
seen.
Literally, all she does is take axes and like saws stuff, and then I ordered this saw from Timu, and then uses it. I'm like, well, you
Yeah.
know what I can't do? I can't make a channel based off of axes because it's not the
Right.
creative part of my brain.
Really quick, Todd. Well, one, Todd, thank you for popping in and joining us. Good to see you. Yes, it is Fendiesel is what I'm calling it. Alpha Magnus. This is original art by Alpha Magnus. The
Moi.
Yeah, my guest today. Um, and yeah, we're coloring his Street Sharks fan art of Fendiesel. So,
Which, if you haven't seen the original launch footage of Vin Diesel doing his best to sell Street Sharks to vendors at like Toy Fair or something,
one of his
go
first
look at that.
gigs.
It's artwork.
A
Some
tiny
guy who
shark.
was not famous doing some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, it's kind of cool. I think it's cool to see that though, like to just that he was, like he obviously wanted to succeed and he was so willing to do anything that he
Yeah.
took. That's a gig he took, which I think is important for a lot of people who, like some people would assume somebody like Vin Diesel was an overnight success because he's like finger quote came out of nowhere for Pitch Dark or Pitch Black.
Yeah.
But obviously he had been, busting his hump for a while doing stuff.
Oh yeah, he'd been doing tons of stuff.
And so it's sort of all
Yep.
about that. So yeah, Lego has a question for you.
Are there any new Street Shark characters you'd like to design? I think this is my my coup de grace here. I do, however, have I kept him out because it's topical. I did make this guy. Here, we'll just do it on this. So this is my.
I'm gonna put you solo layout really quick so that you're front. There you go.
This is Ripster. I made it from Marvel Legends and a McFarlane shark. He's not quite done yet. I still have to give him a tongue, which is coming soon because I have a bunch of stuff I got to use Milliput for. But this is his thing here. And then I got to go over it with one more layer of blue paint because some of it did chip off. The problem with Milliput is that it takes nicks very well, but it's he is looking good. Most of it's Marvel Legends. I got like a Fix It, Mr. Fix It there, and then Toxin or Venom, one of the two I used for that. And then randomly I was at, actually, where did that go? There it is. Randomly I was at Ollie's, and one of my buddies managed to source this for me. It's a giant motorcycle, so you can sit on it. So there. But this is something that I made, and then when they announced, oh, we're making Street Sharks again, I got real depressed because I was like, great, I just spent all this, but then they're not the same, obviously. And then randomly, I was walking through Target, and they had this guy. So I'm going to make, I forget his name at the moment.
Oh, wow.
So this is from Aquaman, but I'm going to put that cone drill on the front of him. I can't remember that guy's name for some reason, but he's one of the bad guys.
Yeah.
And then he's going to get painted, I think, blue with a. But he literally is that. He's got the jumpsuit and everything, just like that character does. So I'm
wow.
thanks, Aquaman movie.
Right.
I got this for $6.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Aquaman movie the second one had to give us something.
Yeah, it gave us that. Gave me that bad guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, street character design is something that I am going to be doing a lot of for the aforementioned toy company. This is the problem, is that I've had to keep everything on a real tight thing. I will say that it's Origins based.
Okay.
I want it to be compatible, and there is a lawsuit that Lego did against the Mega Bloks company, against Mattel even, saying that they couldn't use the thing, and even with a patent, they were told, no, you can make things that work with yours as long as they don't say your name. So I think I'm in the legal clear on that one to make figures that are like Origins. I'm changing a few things here and there. It's not going to be a direct duplicate, but it will be compatible with the Origin system.
Well, I mean, there's that, but also, as Mattel learned in the early 80s when they tried to sue Remco, they don't technically own a body type.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as it's not a direct sort of copy, so that it looks just like one of the. And there are currently there's the cartoon collection buck, and then there's the regular Origins buck. So as long as it doesn't look exactly like, if it's basically not you recasting that particular buck, you're fine. Even if you make it compatible, they can't really. Mattel has quite a few products of their own over the years that they've made that are basically compatible with other toy lines. So
yeah, they did it themselves, so they can't get angry when someone else does it. But the one thing you do have to do is you have to change it a little bit. So
it does have to be a little different.
If you look here on this arm, this piece right there, it'll fit with that, but they have like a specific groove design on it, and I'm just gonna have to alter that. But this one's gonna be Earthworm Jim.
Nice.
So I took a whole bunch of white body parts and
oh, cool.
And I'm gonna be taking I have an old Earthworm Jim toy that I'm gonna make a cast of and make it his head. This one was one that I just had a bunch of random stuff for. Thank you, Largo.
And then sea monsters are totally underrated.
Yeah.
And then, let's see that figure. Yep, exactly. Agreed. 100% Todd. No.
So hopefully I'll be able to do some more stuff soon, but I'm just waiting for some money to come in, and then and then I will be going whole hog on the train of that. I'll have my toy company name probably within a month, so then I'll be able to launch all that. But I got to do LLCs and all that junk.
Yeah, you have to go and get everything sort of set up so that when you do launch, all the bases are covered.
The other thing I need to talk to like the AWOC guys, because what I've noticed is a lot of these companies don't call themselves toys. The only one that I think does is Formo. Formo toys. And I'm wondering if that's like a so that they don't get considered to be, because I know if you call something a toy, you have to, or an action figure, you have to get it like it has to be drop tested and stuff, and I don't want to deal with that garbage.
Yeah,
I'm making stuff for old people.
right. Yeah, there are things that you would want to do so that you're so that it's evident you're not trying to get on the toy aisles between the kid toys and
Yeah, I had
what.
to explain that to somebody once about if you look at the especially if you go to Walmart's and you look at the McFarlane toys that are in the toy aisle and the ones that are in their collectibles section,
Yeah,
the quality of those drastically differs.
yeah,
The ones in the toy aisle are going to be drop safe tested. They don't come with little parts. And then the ones in the collectible aisle typically have more hands and better paints, but they are fragile as hell.
oh yeah, they have more.
I had one that just like turned to dust on me. I'm like, what is this even?
I'm still bitter over. I bought a NECA, I think a Michael Myers, a couple of years ago, and it fell off the shelf and shattered. And I still am bitter. I still to this day talk smack about NECA because of that.
NECA is one of those ones too where their problem is, and this is where I get real terrified about it, is the factories they use.
Yeah.
So depending on what you buy, you could get a real good thing, or you could get something terrible.
Right.
And that's where it's kind of scary. Like
Should
I'm going to drop all this money, and then get sent a bunch of junk.
Yeah, you should also talk to Ken at Toy Connections because they because of Delta 17, like they've had to deal with factories and finding a good factory and whatnot. So
well, this is where my my inability to let other people have part of it pays off. The first batch that I'm doing, that McFarlane Raw, whatever, great sculpting. My son has a rattlesnake frenzy. Yeah, I love the Raw 10 line. Anyway, the first Kickstarter I'm doing, I don't need a factory. That's the wonderful part.
all right, yeah. Sorry, just catching up. Hello,
That's
Chris.
fine.
I don't want anyone to. Yeah, exactly, Largo. Agreed. And then, yeah, that's awesome. And I don't, especially when it's just for me when I'm spending as much as a NECA toy costs, like, and it breaks, it makes me really depressed and sad. Like,
Yeah, it's frustrating. Well, this is one that got me. So I just built this on my live stream yesterday.
Yeah,
and
I watched
I touched the top of this Gundam.
Yeah,
and the yellow piece up there, the crest, broke. Like I just touched it, and it's like in a normal store, that size model is like $10 to $20. That one's got some extra parts, so it's more. But by the time you roll everything down, you're paying $50 or $60 for this thing, and then you touch it once and it breaks. The big one was Slush Head.
yeah.
I literally breathed on that thing, and the silver broke on the end of one. And I guess it was a common issue that everybody had with that. But like that was a $30 figure. Luckily, I've been playing Target like a heart from hell on their. If you order stuff through using their red card, you get like a 90-day price match.
Yeah.
So I've just been like, oh well, this thing that I paid $30 for is $3 now, so I've been getting the money back. It's almost like I do like a rent to own, and then it's immediately worth less. So yeah, getting real lucky with those.
I remember that's one of the things I often ended up. Maddie Collector, Masters of the Universe classics. I remember a few of them had some issues, and I do remember. Luckily, my Green Goddess is. Hopefully, she's in storage, so hopefully she's still good. But I know a lot of people had like exploding hips happen with theirs, where it's like they just like broke and fell apart. And I mean, at the time, $25 was a lot for a collector's figure. Um, Now, they'd be like 50, 55 based on.
Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with that line because I only purchased one item from it,
Oh,
and that was the Laughing Atom SDCC.
gotcha.
I purposely avoided it because I was like $25 is too much for these figures. And now
Yeah,
look at me. I bought
right.
Unicron back there.
Well, it was a different time. It was, like, especially He-Man. It's like, I don't, even back then, like, I was still pretty much collecting Star Wars. And it's like, for it to be more than $10, it needed to have, a vehicle. It needed to be packed in with a vehicle or mini figures or something. And
Yeah.
I remember I got a couple of the class. I didn't subscribe until the Princess of Power subline year that they did. Other than that, I would just, like hope I could get through the day they dropped. But I got like She-Ra, Tila, Green Goddess. I bought all of those on eBay for like 15 bucks. They didn't come with full packaging or anything, but
Yeah.
I take them out and display them. So I didn't necessarily need full packaging.
Yeah, who needs that?
All right, let's see. Yeah, there you go. So, and then,
For shame.
nice. That's cool. It's good to know. And then the snout spout thing, 100%. That and the foam they used for those just like disintegrated. And to me,
I'm kind
that
of worried about the Tila. Have you gotten the new Tila from Cartoon Collection?
I do. Yeah, I've got her.
That rubber they used on her chest piece scares me.
I will say that I bought 3. I took 2 of them out, one to use as a custom, and the one that will be a custom is a custom because the little dangly piece of her armor broke off whenever I was trying to check out. So that was, but like I was gonna cut that one up anyway. So one of them up anyway. So
yeah,
that
but
did work
if you
out.
weren't, that just broke so quickly. Like, why?
Yeah, it was day 1. I took it out of the package right when I went to pop sort of the torso off of the waist. Wasn't actually even trying to remove the armor yet, so it was a little bit of a I think it's just honestly the material it's made of is thin and it's too small of a piece.
Yeah.
So I'll just not be taking the other one apart. Like I'll buy a few for customs, but I don't need that dangly piece on the custom stuff. So
Yeah, I bought that one to replace my display Tila. I've never really been huge in the Origins mold. Actually I got it right here because I'm doing the Hera and Valentina from the He-Force. But like, what's up with his butt? It's a unibutt.
Yeah, the Origins butt is a little. Yeah, well, it's based on the original 81 Tila.
Yeah, and I get that, but that's terrible. I don't want that to be my Tila. So like the night and day difference between those two. I just did a video of that actually on my channel.
I think you did. I think that's where I commented that my biggest sort of unhappiness with sort of Origins is sort of the very limited scope they took with the buck for the ladies, because they just done to like, because originally as Mark Taylor designed her, all of the over her armor was an overlay, and she just had kind of like what the Cartoon Collection looks like. That's what originally the female buck in the original Motu line back in the 80s was supposed to look like. But then they combined the 2 women because boys won't buy 2 female action figures.
Yeah.
So the goddess.
Okay, Todd.
Yeah, right. The goddess slash sorceress became just Tila with, like it's a twofer. Um, so whatever. But because of that, the buck is limited, and I feel like Origins they really should have gone back to Mark Taylor's original B sheet with how she was designed. But I guess that's why I don't get paid money by Mattel, because that to me makes way more sense than what they did. So, yeah,
Yeah.
and then we would probably have more ladies in Origins if there were more parts to do those characters. So,
What was the other one that they Lady Slither?
yeah, Lady Slither, who got like the furry shorts in a lady version, so she's got lady trunks. Which they could give us a battleground Tila with that. Oh, no worries. Hello. Okay, yeah. Sorry, Derek. Saw this one first. Hi, Augustus. Sir, it's way too early for treats. Go away. Yep. Chunky butt. Go away. It's not.
We had mentioned this a while ago. I'm pretty much done.
Oh, cool.
We had mentioned this a while ago, but you'd wanted to get a hold of. You kept saying it, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" The beefier bucks for the Motu line.
Yeah, the chunky.
My brain was like, I thought you meant the regular wrestlers. The regular wrestlers are literally 1-to-1 He-Man characters. But like these guys right here, Earthquake and Typhoon.
Yeah, those are the ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't realize it. Their thighs are thicker too.
Interesting.
Yeah. So these ones are readily available at Walmart, by the way.
Yeah, it's just we don't. Where I live in Oregon, we don't easily have the 2 or 3 Walmarts that are close to us don't have actual toy aisles anymore. They just have like the $5 Barbies and Hot Wheels.
If you need to, I can get you one. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, I need to sit down and when I started my channel, I was like, I'm not gonna do unboxings and whatnot. But now that I have all this, I've got like a stack of stuff over here that needs to get open. So I think I'm gonna start. Surprise! It's gonna be sort of necessity because I realized, oh well, maybe if I turn it into a video on my channel or a live stream or whatever, it'll motivate me to do it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing with live streams and building the Gundams and stuff because I just don't do them. So I got this one too. The Andre Comics got me this one 1017. Because for whatever reason they don't. My area is full of scalpers, and what they'll do is they'll buy all of these, and then if they don't sell them, they just return all of them to this one Walmart.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Like my Walmart has 20 Bray Wyatts because they bought all of them when he died, and then they didn't sell, and then they just shoved them all back, returned them.
Like, hey, we tried to scalp them, but yeah, agreed, Chris. I need Princess of Power. I've been supporting Origins about 40% because I want Princess of Power, and I need them to do the thing.
So how many people we got on right now?
We are up to it shows 9 on my site. So that's pretty good for the time of day it is.
Okay. So
also, Derek wants you to know he found a Rax.
Oh yeah, the Rax restaurant. Rax. Yep. Where? Because there's one in Lancaster, and then there's one slightly south of that. The Lancaster one's the one that I got. Yeah, here's the natural disasters.
Lovely to see you, sir.
Yeah, I bought these 2 guys. Oh, there. So if you follow my channel, hey, if you're into wrestling, I not only collect some of these, I also make customs for the WWE Eternia line, because that was my favorite line a few years back, and it was hard as hell to get. But these 2 guys are going to be Twistoid and Rotar. Is that what it was?
Nice. Yep.
Yeah. So Typhoon and Earthquake are going to be those 2. Once we get those from Mattel Creations, at least. I still haven't figured out one that I want to do for Cyclone because I bought 3 Cyclones, thinking
Right.
I'll have one to trade and then I can make something else. But I haven't figured out what I want to do with Cyclone yet for
I
wrestling. So
yeah, it's a good question. You have your Cyndi Lauper there, right?
yeah, I got Cyndi Lauper here. I got She Bop is her name.
Nice. I really liked that one. Like you did
Yeah.
a video for her, and it was very enjoyable. Like she's the whole reason I know anything about wrestling because I was
Yeah.
as a child a huge like one of my report card. You know, like if I got straight A's on my report card, I got money. And the and at the end of the year, if I made straight A's all year, I got extra money, and that 1984, I used that to buy some Star Wars, some strawberry shortcake, and a cassette tape of Cyndi Lauper. She's so unusual. So
This
that's
is
how
a
I know about
combination
wrestler.
too.
Yeah.
So it's not only I guess She-Ra Sorceress and Cyndi Lauper. It is also a combination Cyndi Lauper of the red dress she has in Girls Just Want to Have Fun,
Mhm.
and then the hat from She Bop, and she has a
Yeah.
white cane in She Bop. So
She does.
this is a deep one for me.
No, it was cool. I really liked that video, and I like that you know like it was just fun. Like I like seeing people, you know,
So
one honoring the '80s, but two,
yeah, so they're coming out with a Muhammad Ali of the wrestling style,
yeah,
and he is in the famous picture. It's I think Hulk Hogan, uh, a couple of Cyndi Lauper, Captain Lou Albano, and like Muhammad Ali and Liberace all in one like photo. So I really want to recreate that using these figures. So
that would be
I'll
really
have to
cool.
figure that one out.
There's that Elvis guy that they made the wrestling figure of. You could
Yeah,
probably, with a little work, turn him into a Liberace. I bet.
I think so. That's actually a good call. I might have to buy one of those. I did him as the honkin' neck man.
Oh,
So he's got a really long neck, like a guitar, and I put a Mechanic head under it, and he's got Mechanic
nice.
armor on. I can grab those if you want. I mean, I don't know what we're gonna
Yeah.
do.
No, I'm almost. I'm almost to the end of. I need to do his jeans and his boots. So if you wanna,
Yeah.
it's,
So and then of course I got this guy, which this is probably your favorite part of my channel is the Where's a T line.
well, it's what I'm enjoying right now. It's not like I
Yeah.
enjoy all of your work, so like, but I'm enjoying the Fusera T right now because that's the one thing that I want to do myself and just have not made time to work on. So
Well, my whole thing with it is I wanted to make it my own because I saw Mr. Home Arcade made it custom, and I've seen a bunch
yeah,
of other guys, but I decided to actually dye my Mossman brown, and this is going to look great for Pantano, I believe is his
yeah,
name. I
yeah.
am so glad that this stood up. I got a bunch of these for $5.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, screw it, I'm just going to mess around. Mouse Jaw, yeah. My problem with Mouse Jaw is some other stuff. I'm watching the chat.
Oh,
And
cool.
then this
Um,
is the next big one. So I went and painted this for Zach the He Cat,
oh, nice.
and I'll be doing his head soon.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were showing that on your live stream yesterday. Was it yesterday? Time is weird.
Yeah, I showed the head, but I actually went through and painted his yellow stripes on him.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so he's a little bit different than that. And then I gotta dye the head, then flock the head. So that's next on the list.
Nice.
Is getting the He Cat done there. And yeah, this is beautiful. I'm going to be doing a couple customs and sending them to other toy tubers
Nice.
for exposure, I guess.
That's a good way to
when
say
it
it.
comes to to customs. Like, you know how some people be like, "Oh, if you do this for me, I'll give you exposure." I'm more like, "I did this for you. Please give me
Right.
exposure."
Have
You
you
know?
have you spoken at all to Corey at Make Shape Create?
Yeah, we've chatted. I saw him at PowerCon. Didn't realize it
Okay,
was him.
cool. I just say that because I know he likes to do. If you were to say reach out to him and want to do like a collab on like some custom stuff, he would. He loves doing. He loves working with people. He loves that stuff is really fun for him. So
Yeah, I
definitely,
mean,
you know.
right now too, I've got a bunch of stuff. So he did the He Force, and that's what inspired me to do that.
Yeah.
So props to him. I'm doing mine a little different. He did his like that look exactly like it, but I'm like, this is
Yeah.
like a character that showed up in one comic. Like, I'm not gonna be like 100% on this one. We're gonna make this my own too.
Yeah.
And
No.
then when I was gonna do Flares of Tea ever since I saw him a couple years ago, but I just never got around to it. And then when Mr. Home Arcade did his, I was like, well, damn it, someone beat me to it. But then I looked it up, and people have been doing Flares of Tea stuff for years
Oh yeah.
with
No, that
originals.
was.
So like, he wasn't like the first; he's just the first that had like every single one. Well, then I realized he didn't do the 4 unproduced ones, so I'm
Yep.
like, well, I guess I
Yep.
could do that. I'll be that guy.
Yeah, I remember right when Origins hit, back when He-Man.org still had message boards. I remember,
R.I.P.
yeah, RIP. I remember that was one of the. Um, I was fairly active on it. I mean, I not under my actual name. I used an alias on that board, but that was a lot of I was there doing a lot of. There are a lot of people making Tea, and I still have my extra web store that I got from Big Bad Toy Store whenever that wave first hit, so that I can make. Well, they used him twice, so but I've got both of them. So
Yeah, I got that's why I started doing the head casts. Like there's
oh, nice. Oh, I mean,
no,
oh
I didn't feel
wow,
like buying another Zodak just for this, so I just did a head cast of it. Ooh, dropping stuff.
I'm gonna use at some point. I'm gonna do a couple Star Wars customs in Mo2, and I'm gonna use one of my extra Zodak heads and basically do it in orange and white, and then let that be my Skywalker X-wing pilot figure. Because I think the Zodak design, like in orange, would look really cool. So
Yeah, well, they're also like I've seen a lot of people are doing Cosmic Enforcer customs.
mhm.
So I have a this is the debut of this.
Oh,
So
I'm gonna
be
let me
happy.
put
This
you
is the
back.
next. So I have He Force going. They're pretty good. Then I have Where's the T, which is almost done. Like I just got
Yeah,
to order a couple more figures, do some more painting. But the big one is what was the other one I had? I'm doing Masters of the '90s, which you've seen a couple of those. The
yep,
like Pecor and a couple other ones. So those are like if Masters Universe continued with '90s aesthetics, and then a bunch of barbarians. So you've seen the why is my brain not work? Dar Beastmaster.
yep.
This
Which
is
is
the
cool.
next one.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah.
So I'm doing a biker gang, and this is an original creation and everything. I'm thinking something like Demons of Despondos or something like that.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and each one of them is going to be like themed based off of biker stuff. So had an extra spike ore and some other parts. So this is going to be it's going to be interesting. So it's essentially like Horde, like if the Horde had a biker gang.
Right?
I have 4 of these. One of them is going to stay the same. In my mythos, Mechanic was the mechanic for the group,
Yeah.
and he left. That's why he's got mechanical parts. And then Snout Spout was also one of them. That's why it's continuing kind of the idea that I think the IDW comics had, where certain characters were literally just experimented on by the Horde, and Snout Spout was one
Yeah.
of them. and they called him Hose Nose when he was in the gang. That's why he goes by Snout Spout now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's what his Princess. They called him for an episode or two on Princess of Power. He was Hose Nose.
yeah. So that's why he changed his name or whatever, because of the
That's cool.
to get the affiliation out of the way. He's a good guy now. And what was the other guy? Dragstore.
Yep.
He's part of the group too. So like, it's just it's a little thing that I'm working on. I'm gonna be going crazy.
That's cool though. I personally love when people I know some people are not about personal headcanon or whatever, but I think it's cool when people
Yeah.
I find as I sort of shift more into like having a quote unquote headcanon, I find I feel a lot less grumpy when they do something I don't like. And like say Star Wars. There's stuff I don't care for that they've done in Star Wars, but I feel way less grumpy about it when I've got my own headcanon as to what the deal is.
I try to tell people when it comes to any fandom, pick a hill to die on and then just stick with one.
Yeah.
Leave one hill if you're going to do it. So if you're going to get grumpy about Star Wars, my grumpy Star Wars is Last Jedi. That movie doesn't need to exist for the rest of the. It literally doesn't. Like aside from like one part that carries forward to the next movie. I'm like, this whole movie could just be gone. I
think my hill is
like, yeah.
My hill is I will never finish Book of Boba Fett, and I'm okay with that.
Oh, I've watched that 3 times. That's like my favorite show.
I couldn't finish it. It just for me, it felt for instance, it's good. Segue. I enjoyed the concept of the biker game. They felt like they belonged in a different Star Wars thing.
What they needed to do, they needed to build those storylines together. They needed to have those guys be kids from Coruscant, because essentially they're. It's like if right now, you got kids dressing like they're from the 90s and 2000s. Right. They're getting Jinko jeans. It's the old time. Well, old Coruscant in the first movie had vehicles that looked like that. Jimmy Schmitz was driving around in one. Yeah. But there was no backstory to that. Right. There was no like, hey, these kids came from Coruscant and have goofy bikes, Right. They just were like super shiny for some reason in the middle of the desert.
If that had even been, say, set on the Dantooine that we got in the Rebels show, I think it would have. Yeah. It just felt, and the tone, there was something like bright and bouncy about them to me that like I wanted to like them. It just, Book of Boba Fett felt like a darker show, and it's like the tone of it was off for me. So I was like, it's okay if I don't finish this one. I don't have to finish all the Star Wars. I mean, and for reference, I love the holiday special. I watch it every year at Christmas willingly from start to finish.
My thing with Book of Boba Fett is they also needed to go into it in a different way. They did the same thing that the Girl Busters 2016 Ghostbusters was Answer the Call. If you went into it and said, "Hey, this is a new universe for the Ghostbusters," it's a kind of like a reboot, but it's like a different telling. It's not the original cast. You're good. If you give people the backstory, hey, we're trying something new here. Instead, what they did was they did a bunch of videos, and I remember the one was like, "This ain't your daddy's stupid Ghostbusters that are dumb." Right. Like, that's not a way to get anybody to like anything.
Right. Except there's people who don't like Ghostbusters, and they're like, "Okay, I'll try that."
Yeah, but you're splitting your fan base between two. That's why The Rock right now is like, I'm not endorsing anybody right now because he doesn't want to. He's like trying to make money. Like you don't make money by splitting your people half and half. Yeah. But like I liked that Ghostbusters movie, but I did not like how they marketed it. It was terrible. Like who markets something like that? That's like if the new movie Dune that came out, 1 and 2, Like, what if they were like, this isn't stupid and doesn't have stupid Sting in it? Like,
Oh my god, poor
why would you
Sting.
do that?
Yeah, right. It's not like it was Sting. It's not like it's Moby. If it
Yeah,
was Moby, then yeah. Like,
correct.
this
It's
would have
not Moby.
stupid Moby in
Who looks, the guy in this looks like Moby, of course.
it.
Woman. Yeah, I like it all. And someone mentioned Thunder. Give me 1 second.
Oh my god, Thunder. I love that. Yep. All right. Sorry, I fell behind on chat. I apologize. Alpha Magnus has been reading the chat, so I keep forgetting that. Yeah,
I
I
did
would
a
like
Thunder
that.
custom, and I have no idea where it went.
Oh, well, there you are. I seem to remember, Christopher. I remember seeing that name in there. I was Headache79 and I had a Perfuma icon. Now that it's dead, it doesn't matter that people know who I was. Thunder for sure. Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, I know, Todd. I know. You know the story. That's what's funny though, is he said that and like Natalie Portman releases the. It's funny that you would say we dated. My recollection is I was a 17-year-old and you were an older guy being super weird and creepy toward me. It's like, oh, maybe the Natalie Portman raps thing wasn't 100% just like made up for Saturday Night Live, because that was pretty dissy, Natalie.
I have no idea where that Thunder went. It's gonna bother me now.
Well, what I will say for the people watching at home, you should go subscribe to Alpha Magnus's channel, and then when he finds it,
You should.
you could. And when he finds it, he'll do like a mini video or some such with, hey, here's my Thunder.
So there's a.
You should subscribe to him as is. I do have his channel on the bottom. That guy I really like. Like, he's really cool.
Pecor is one of the best ones I've done. In fact, I might do another one, Masterverse style. So
that would be cool.
And then, of course, we got. I've named this guy Glidor. Instead of, I was gonna go with Asptech, but I guess Lord Grasp is the Asp guy, so I don't want to be stepping on his things. But there is so he's a flying snake, gliding snake.
Oh my god, that's really cool. It's a good use of all the extra sorceress parts. I need to remember that because I'm gonna have quite a few extras. I have. And the sorceress was on sale for like $3 at one point on Amazon, so I may have ordered
10. Yeah, I got one at I got that in an Evelyn. And then of course I got Blossom.
Nice. I'm gonna put you main screen again. So
yeah, that's fine.
People can fully, and I'm done. So
there's Clossum. He is awesome. And this is part of my Masters of the 90s. All three of these guys are
nice.
Just like if they continued going into the 90s, all the goofy stuff they could have came up with.
It would have been cool if they had.
It's really gonna bother me where that Thunder went. Because he's like complete. All I was looking for was the sword, and I was going to show that off. And now it disappeared. I do have the fact that I've only gotten Thunder. Yeah, they did come out with. Oh no, that was Herculoids. They did. Someone did.
No, they did some Thunder figures back in the early 2000s, and they're ridiculously overpriced and expensive on the second. Because I looked them up, I was like, I would like those. So.
And of course, the Beastmaster.
Yeah, I'm excited about those because that's on my list. I have I bought an extra Terra Claw Skeletor, so I could use those claws to make the guy and that they drop the thing in his ear and turn him into like a zombie monster thing. Because his claws are almost like the Terra. Because I'm gonna I call it originize them, where I slightly tweak the design so it looks like vintage toy Masters of the Universe. So
Yeah, that's pretty much was the idea of him. Why do I keep going that way?
oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cool Beastmaster. Like, I was trying to figure out how I was gonna do a Beastmaster his head, and I think I'm just gonna steal your idea and pick up an extra 2000X He-Man.
Yeah, 2000X works perfect. So, and I said this on my live stream when I was doing this. It's a fun coincidence because I don't know if you remember when the 2000X series came out, the toys.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Why does that head look like Mark Hamill?"
Right.
Like, because the Prince Adam head looked just like Mark Hamill. I was like, why did they make him Mark Hamill? Well, for Beastmaster, they picked Mark Singer.
Yep.
And everybody thought he looked like Mark Hamill. So it was like, it's like that Bill Murray Garfield thing.
I will say no shade to Mark Hamill, but Mark Singer had a much nicer body than Mark Hamill did back then.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mark, but I can't. We have to address the Mark Singer hotness level. Ooh, that's really cool.
We've got
and this is where I'll quickly plug Largo, because Largo's channel, he will do lore videos about like myths and legends and stuff. So like he knows his stuff. So yeah.
Well, so hey, if you want,
you could say there you go. You could sell that. Joe Rogan with the wig. People will buy
that. Yep. Hey, can you bring that up? That's all he does is tell one other guy to bring up information.
Yeah, right. There we go. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so
there we go.
I will pull back. You will get the scoop on the toy line. In the toy line there will be cryptids. So putting that out there. Nice. I saw what's it, Fresh Monkey Fiction, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What they've been doing, and they are like, I've had this idea for 20 years, and I just never did anything with it because I didn't have time. But they are like getting dangerously close, so I've got a limited amount of time that I can actually launch what I need to do. So I gotta. Right. I was gonna do smaller Kickstarters first, but I'm gonna kind of go hardcore on this right now.
Well, might as well do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So like one of the things that I want to do is like a Beastman type body. That's going to be one of the bucks that I'm going to go for, but then make it so that you can add like either bigger armor over him, like fur, and bigger hands to make him like a specific Yeti or some abominable snowman, and then another one you can add bigger feet to make him Bigfoot. That's kind of the gist of it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, because there's like a bazillion you could do. You could do snowman, Bigfoot. There's one in pretty much every country has a giant ape of some sort. And then that's where I was going to go as well with like things like werewolves and stuff. So imagine if you could get a wolf version of this.
In the state of Texas, the giant monkey ape thing is my ex's mom. So
the skunk ape is the one that I'm really excited for because I want to do it and then make it have patchouli scent.
Oh, that would be cool. Like, all right. I just finished up, so really quick, I'm gonna put the art stuff up so that we can see your finished piece, where we have a very cool purple Finn Diesel. That's what I'm gonna call him.
Yeah, I did purple too because I was like, well, I wanted these to be yellow and that to be jeans, so I don't want them to all be blue.
Yeah. Oh no, I went all blue because I'm basic. Let's see, and there's mine all complete.
We did get close.
Yeah, I went and did some extra embellishment on the jacket. I figured it's the 90s. It's gonna have little studs and sparkles and stuff.
Yeah, he's got
And
that
then
biker jacket on there.
yeah, because I wanted the his pop of color to be the triple X tattoo, and then his goggles, and then his blue
Oh yeah,
green.
that could have been red, I guess. Good call.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I came up with. And there we go. All right.
Gorgeous.
And Margot has a great point. It would be nice to see a really cool. And what I
That's
liked
one of the
about
ones that's in there. So and they're not all in inherently bad guys. I'm doing the gorilla one first because there's just so many options for that. But getting that buck made is going to be the hard part, and then that'll be the. It's weird because it's going to be a mix of good and bad guys for that part, and then it's going to be interesting. The first probably offering I'm going to do is a weapons pack.
yeah.
For Kickstarter just to get some initial funds. So like
Well,
I
good
don't know,
weapons
$10 weapon pack. Well, because and a lot of people have said this, like I want this weapon, I want this weapon. So I'm just gonna list all of them and put them all up there, and you get a sprue of them like old Ninja Turtles toys.
Oh
You
wow,
pull them off and throw them however you want. It's
that's a cool idea.
yeah. So that's gonna be the initial thing. But my thing with it is a lot of people could 3D print those. I don't really like that as being the option. I'd rather them be real toys. So I'm going to put the number on there for Kickstarter. And if I hit that minimum goal is going to be for me to make the product. I'm going to get an injection machine, slap it in the basement, squeeze it down, do the whole shebang. It's something I can do, that part. I cannot do a full figure like that.
And I say this as somebody who owns some 3D printed items that are really good and some that aren't. I prefer when it's actual plastic, if possible. I just know that in this day and age, that's not always,
Resin doesn't
especially
work.
for custom stuff. Like it's not always an option. So if you have some really cool items that are actual plastic, like actual toy plastic that it's a little bit less fragile than some of the resin stuff is, or the 3D printed stuff is, I would like that. So I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah. So the well, I figure a lot of people are going to be in, but my main issue, and this is something that I've learned through talking with some people at PowerCon, is that your first Kickstarter, once you make it, then deliver it, that's when people start paying attention to you. So you can't rely on that first Kickstarter to be your number one shot. You can do it. I mean, Flip War is proof of that.
I think, and I will say that because I had her on to talk Flip War with me.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked before and we talked after. The difference with Flip War is one, that was sort of a character that had come up and been built up through various toy communities, and like there were several years of us like sort of all knowing who Flip War was, and like so there was we'll call it fan demand, and it helps. Hatter has a pretty sizable channel. He is friends with people who have sizable channels who have him on, so it's a little bit different than and so I said this to somebody, and they're like, "Well, what about like what was his name? Was it Shartimus who tried to do this?"
Yeah.
But the difference is he tried to do a really expansive line. Like there was one mold that came with Flip War, and the amounts were really scalable. So even if it hadn't gone as big as it did, basic set Flip War was achievable. It wasn't unrealistic. So.
Yeah, my big issue with the Shartimus thing is he did it twice and still didn't do it, and it was like he's aiming big. I loved it. I backed it. I got a Street Human shirt in my closet right now. I don't know. His was so close to getting there, and it just felt like he pushed real hard, and I'm pretty sure it exhausted him for the whole thing. But what are you gonna do? I loved it. I backed it. I got 4 figures. So
I would like to see him with that come back and maybe start with one of the figures so that it's not quite as much, and then maybe try like build it up a little. I think
Yeah.
I liked the concept. It fell at a time where there was no way for me to like throw money at
Yeah.
anything extra.
Flipboard, I barely had enough money.
Yeah.
I had to downgrade my my pledge, and then I had to fully back out of the last AWOC because I got unemployed.
Right. That
So
gets in the way of toy buying for sure.
yeah, I was like, maybe we're not gonna buy anything. So that's why I've been completing stuff like crazy, because I have such
Yeah.
a backlog of stuff that it's been taking up a lot of
It's
time
nice
with
when you
that.
can finish projects out. So
Yep, finishing all them finishing all them
finish.
projects.
Uh,
Good.
right. Let's see. So really, I'm done. You're done. We should probably wrap this up so that I can go eat some lunch. And check on the cats because the cats are starting to scream in the background. It's that part of their day. But across the bottom of the screen is Alpha Magnus's channel address. If you type in Alpha Magnus and search on YouTube, it will pull up his channel. Definitely recommend it. I'm sub there. I'm also just disclaimer. I'm one of his Patreons because I believe in what he's doing. So he's one of my toy tube friends, but he's also here just because I like to have cool people.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I told that to Brick too, because he slipped me $1, and
yeah.
and
And
he's
that's
like,
the thing. Like, if you do 3D printing, you offer as part one. I don't have a 3D printer, so
yeah.
but you do
I'm putting all
offer
the
some
old
of your
stuff that I
files.
used to make and sell on Etsy on my Patreon. So you could just get it in 3D printed if you want. It's
I
$1.
I think
So
I bought something from you on Etsy, like during the pandemic, maybe. So
maybe.
just said that, and I just seem to recall. I'll go back and look and see what it was because I bought a bunch of like weapons and accessories and whatnot that during the pandemic I did like a lot of us did and bought a lot of toys, and then I was like, but I
Yeah.
want to make my toys cooler.
Yeah.
So yeah. Alrighty. So yeah, go check out Alpha Magnus's channel. He will you do live streams right now almost every day, I think.
It's every other day or so, but it's pretty much just whenever during the week. This is the problem. Monday through Friday, I got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
When everyone wants you to live stream is Saturday and Sunday, and those are my busy days. It's just how it works. Yeah.
Really quick. That is there's what is his name? I forget. I will let you know, Christopher. There's a guy who's doing that. He's using that to do Star Wars playsets, Kenner style, that are really cool. So
Yeah. I want to do vacuum molding, and I've seen how to make the machines and everything, so it's not entirely impossible. That's what I wanted to do for when I do a playset for my line, is just get a sheet of ABS plastic, and then just vacuum right onto it, and do it that way. Ace, I talked with Ace on a couple things,
yeah,
and they want to deliver a 100% complete product, which I understand. That's his
yeah,
company. I'm looking for like a company that'll just send me everything, and I'm going to do it because I really
yeah,
want the QC to be perfect. And being a perfectionist on things like that, I can go through and literally I'll be plugging it all in. So
yeah,
it's like that's how I want the toy line to be. And I know it's not something you can do forever,
yeah.
but the
But in the
worst thing in the
beginning,
world is, hey, here's my new toy line. One part breaks on it,
right?
no one's going to talk to you anymore.
It's true. People, I mean, just ask myself and NECA, and the fact I haven't bought a NECA toy in
Yep.
however long. How many decades has it been since that Michael Myers broke? And it was after I had bought one through McFarlane that broke also, back when he did the first wave of movie Maniacs.
Yeah.
Back when that toy line was actually Maniacs from horror movies and not Steve Carell with wax.
Jack-o'-lantern. Jack-o'-lantern chest.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, there are apparently Derek Hoover is part of the audience for those kind of figures, though. So we all know who to blame, Derek. We can get 40-year-old virgin and Matthew McConaughey from Disney Confused, but we can't get Black Canary and superpowers. Thanks, Derek. Thanks.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well, that's a. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I was gonna do this on here.
Oh.
Give me 1 second. I randomly, right before we got here, I got a BBTS box.
Ooh, excellent. Let's do it. I'm gonna make you full screen so that we can get the full impact.
I was like, this is something that I know Allison will chuckle at. Ugh. So right off the bat, hey, there's my extra 2000 XE man.
There we go. Excellent.
He was on clearance for like one of the daily deals. There's another one of those. So this
Naked Stratus.
Where's the
Never go wrong.
Funko's shattered. Oh, someone just posted something.
Yep. No. Yeah. A couple of those. Oh, Clamp Champ.
Yeah, got another Clamp Champ. So they had these on clearance one day for like $5 or $6. So I'm like, well, guess I'm buying a bunch.
Skeletor. Nice.
And I got real. So I'm gonna do a Disco Skeletor from this one.
We need Disco Skeletor, people.
Yeah. I had to purchase another clawful because I got impatient and just used my only clawful for that district store.
Well, you know.
Yeah, that's Danger Zone stuff. And then this I'll be building on stream.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's RC.
Infamous RC posed like that.
Oh, well, there. Yeah, you know, sexy robot lady girl.
I don't think I have the her right here. Like Windblade is not a character that you could pose like that.
Right.
I think RC is a little more on the. You could probably pose her like that.
She's a robot.
She's a little more femme fatale than
a little bit, yeah.
And then I'm just Ken.
Nice.
Ken
He looks
Masters, which I found out.
Oh, sorry.
He never had that last name until G.I. Joe made the figure.
Yeah, Larry
He
Hama.
didn't want to get sued by Mattel. So that meme went full circle.
Yeah.
And then here it is, the Coupe de Grace.
Oh.
Uncle Todd.
Uh-oh. Oh, my God. Is that the Todd with no shoes?
Yeah, you can get the feet.
Thank you, Black Phoenix. Agreed. Yeah, definitely do it, Chris. No,
I'm Uncle Todd. I like selling stuff, getting chowder.
I felt like I need Thanos to get one of those so he can do things with Uncle Todd.
I don't really want the Spawn, so I might sell that. I don't.
You know. Does anybody want Spawn in 2024? Like, I didn't. What kind of?
I actually liked Spawn and the Thing, but this was I had to get this because I've got that Kirby figure and I have the Stan Lee. So.
Oh yeah, no, agreed. That's totally.
I really want a good Kevin Smith figure, but for some reason that no one makes figures of him.
When they do, it's always the cartoon version of Silent Bob.
Yeah, and I love that cartoon. That's like my favorite.
Yeah, but it would
thing. But
well, I mean, you just said it. So Todd McFarlane will probably do a Movie Maniacs wave of Clerks figures with Jay, Silent Bob. What's the guy? Snowball. That's what they call.
Yeah, that's the only one they'll bring out.
Dante and that one guy. So what is? It's Dante and who is the video
Randall.
store guy? Randall. That's right.
Yeah.
I think I would remember the one who worked at a video store when I was working at a video store. No.
Yeah, but I thought this was great. I feel like I could probably sell this Spawn. This is like not an official Spawn version. And It's like the version that he drew the first time.
Okay. Well,
And
that's
it's
at
like,
least.
of all the Spawn figures I'd want, this is like not the one.
But there are those 7 people who still love Spawn, like it's the '90s. That's the
Yeah.
Spawn they've been wanting. So
And then
I love
he's
that.
also got like these like skulls on his boots. Why?
I think that wasn't that part of the original design, maybe.
I think they were actual skulls. This is like little pirate skulls.
Oh, they're painted.
It
Well,
looks
it
real
is Todd.
goofy.
He's got to cut a corner somewhere. He can't.
And like
Yeah.
one of my favorite things about Spawn is all the chains. And this Spawn has 0 chains. He's undead pirate man with a
But we
cape.
had to get those feet for Todd. So like, why would we give chains to
No,
Spawn?
like
Feet
this is
for
his
Todd?
first. This is his first drawing. It's like if they made a what's his name? The guy who used to be credited for making Batman, not Bill Finger.
Bob Kane. No.
Yeah, Bob Kane. Yeah, it's amazing that I've forgotten him because once I found out that Bill Finger really is the one who made him.
Yeah, right.
Screw that Kane guy. Imagine if they made a Bob Kane action figure and then included the original Batman with it. That's what this is.
With the gun, back when Batman used a gun.
And he had like a purple and had blonde hair. Like
exactly.
that's what this is. This is the original version of Spawn before he even made a comic.
There's like 7 people who want that. So
exactly. I'm like,
gonna get
please, someone buy this off of me. I just wanted a Todd McFarlane figure to do stupid stuff with. Now I got to get the Mark Wahlberg figure that was from one of those movies.
Yeah, say hello
Planet
to
of the
your
Apes.
mother for me.
I know Hatter's got that figure, but I really want that to make these two guys yell at each other for dumb stuff.
That would be cool. I would watch shorts if you made little shorts with them yelling at each other in action figure form.
All right, well, that's one of my plans, so
Okay.
we'll get on that.
Yep.
I planned on doing some wrestling stuff.
Nice.
Which were you into the wrestling?
I'm not into the wrestling. I picked up a few of the wrestling figures for custom fodder, and like as a Papa, I think his name is Papa Sangelo, maybe. I think that's his name. He like
Papa Shango.
Yeah, that guy. He's with my I mean, it's all sort of in a box right now, but I got him because he looks cool, and I'm using him as a member of the Horde. So
I haven't made a version of him yet, so I've still got to figure that out. There's like 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy Narlars of the world.
I think it would be. I mean, you said that, and Todd McFarlane has to make 70 Batman every month. So
yeah, I'm honestly. Well, this is my thing. Is I'm wondering if maybe that's not included in the license. Is that?
It's
and that's
possible.
why it has. Because Bob Kane needs more. He needs more money on death.
Well, like, and the one thing he actually did create.
Yeah. He actually did create that one. But there's a few other figures of like real people that I'd like, but whatever. My Alan Tudyk collection is coming along well.
Nice. Well, like he is the man, so.
Yeah, I finally got to see him at we didn't even go over cosplay this whole time, so.
We didn't. I mentioned that you did it, and then we did not get to. I'll just, like
later on we'll get into.
I'll have you back, and we'll color some more stuff, and maybe
hopefully
next time I'll do some customs.
Within a month, I'll have the toy company name down. So
okay.
That LLC and the trademarks and all that'll be done.
Cool. Well, once you have that sort of stuff figured out, like definitely we'll have you back. But we'll have you back even if you don't get it all settled away. Like, I do a couple Friday streams because I take Fridays off every so often, and so I'll have you.
Well,
back
this was weird. This was the weird part. Is you're like, oh well, I had Friday. I had Thursday, Friday, Saturday is my normal days off.
Yeah.
And then in the time, I had to reschedule because I had a convention, but then I got laid off. So now I got plenty of time, but we just kept this since it was already announced. So hopefully I'll be able to do more stuff. I'm hoping to be able to get like a separate area that I can just do live streams in. So it doesn't matter when I do them. But right now it's kind of like, this is it. This is the toy room is what you got to do.
none of us are making, well, none of us in this corner of ToyTube are making money at it yet. So
Yeah.
we do what we got to do. None of us, we're not
Well,
Dan Larson.
I thank you for your support.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, Dan Larson, and this is the thing, all of the guys, and this is what kills me, literally kills me, is that all of these guys who have big channels have some editing background.
Yep.
I don't. You probably don't, I'd assume.
I don't. I taught starting in 2016. I got some free software and started teaching myself how to edit watching YouTube.
So that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Is as I've been looking, I'm like, I gotta get this. I got a buddy who does music, so he's going to make me some theme music and put some editing in there.
Yeah.
Because it's unfortunately it's the nature of the beast. Is you can either do stupid dances on TikTok to make money, or you have to put in a whole lot of work to get a big, like, there's no middle ground. And right now, you, me, a bunch of us are in this middle ground where it's like we can put a little bit of effort in, but we can't put that much effort in. Or you just put zero effort in and you get big. It makes no sense that there's no middle ground. It's the middle class YouTuber doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of this weird space for it. Like during the pandemic, anyone on YouTube could just blow up because we were all home.
Yeah. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was working 40 plus. I was working 50 hours a week, making less than
I've
people
worked
staying home.
from home for a while, so for me it wasn't a huge. I just
big difference.
had less work, so I didn't have to work from home as much. So
yeah, I got to get over my rage against that right now.
Well, like right now, while you've got some downtime, it's a good time to work through that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. Interesting. Yep. Yeah, I don't think any of us are. I mean, I'm not far from a place where I can offer like channel memberships. I could do Patreon, but I haven't yet because I don't know what I would offer people as bonuses yet. Other than I'll letting people pick sort of what I color or stuff like that. And right now, I enjoy just coloring whatever the F I want to color.
And that's
fun.
The other thing. That's the thing that I've learned is that you can try as hard as you can and get nowhere.
Yeah.
Where if I just do what I want to do, at least I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah, and that's sort of that's my advice to like I've had a few people who are like, oh, I want to be on YouTube. What should I do? I'm like, just do what you want.
Yeah,
make the channel you want to watch, and like eventually people will either dig it or they won't. But at the same time, if you're making content that you enjoy, I don't know. I've that's sort of been my motto, and like there have been a few times I could have been, I've got a few scripts I've written that are way more clickbaity than my normal stuff that people would watch. And then I always stop before I go and make that video because it's like, well, when those people watch that video and then they subscribe and the rest of my content's not like that, like what's I'm just setting myself up to be sad. So instead, I'm just going to keep making what I like, what interests me, what I find fun. And yeah, maybe I'm only getting a couple of subscribers a month, but the ones I'm getting like hanging out here.
They stay too. That's the one thing I've noticed.
I've got really good stable numbers.
When you get, I had a reel on Instagram go huge, and I got tons of people, and then like 2 months later, 200 of them left, and I was like, whoa, what the hell happened here? So I'm just gonna look. Was that 100%? Yeah, I don't know. But I'm gonna try to level up my game because I want to get to 1,500 so that I can at least monetize the channel.
Yep.
And I'm kind of not in a I want to be able to quit, never work again with this. So I'm gonna kind of do a multi-gig aspect of creativity. So I am doing commission for a guy who's I met at PowerCon. He does Captain Tomorrow.
I've seen some of those on Those are also on your again, people. If you're
Yeah.
not subscribed to Alpha Magnus, go do so because he's got. If you like custom work, definitely. You don't do any of the cosplay on YouTube because YouTube would hate that. So
I would have to get a completely separate channel. That's what I
yeah.
did for Instagram. I split I have a main channel, which is kind of a mix, and then our main page, and then I did a cosplay one because one day I was noticing people were dropping off, and they were all cosplayers, and I sent a message and said, "Hey, how come you don't follow me anymore? I just want to know." And they're like, "Oh, well, you keep posting stuff about action figures, and I don't care about those."
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, well, guess I'm getting 2 Instagrams. That's how that works. So I do tag the the I have a channel that says cosplay features where I have my cosplays that are in other people's videos.
I think I follow both. I mean, I have 2 now. I have one specifically for this channel, and then I just have mine. So
No, it's just it's not a channel. What are they called? Playlist.
yeah.
It's a playlist with all of the cosplays. So
Really quick, Todd. No shame. Like if you don't have the desire, you just like viewing.
This is what I'm saying though. This is a perfect example of bringing it all the way back to what I was saying before. Is there are people who are creators who are okay with being on, even just doing this is creative. But there's some people who just want to watch stuff. Some people just want to. I enjoy this art. I do not need to make it, and I didn't know that was a thing that people did. I thought everyone wanted to be an artist.
Yeah.
Everyone had to do it, and it's not that way. It's the same way with I don't know if you remember. What's that? Coyote Ugly. You remember that movie from
yes, I do.
the 90s? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Growing up, I thought every single person that sang music also wrote it. I had no idea that there was a different group of people, and then to realize that people who write music don't always want to perform it.
Yeah, no.
So it's that same deal. We've all got different levels of this stuff, so we got to figure out where our level is and quit trying to. I don't think any of us are going to be mad if we're the next Dan Larson or Pixel Dan, but being happy with the station you've got is going to be the hard part.
Right now I would not like that because that's way too much. That's way more work than I have to put into a channel right now. So right now, no. Eventually, that one.
I've spoken with numerous people on this subject, girlfriend, everybody. I'd be happy if this kind of helped pay for the hobby. Like that's all I'm really going for.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be nice to get a free figure every once in a while, but 500 subscribers, I doubt that's going to happen. I actually really think the Cleveland Gaming Classic.
Yeah.
Because I got to be that's the first time I got to do the featured cosplayer. I was just at Rathacon and I did that featured cosplay as well. So yeah, it's one of those things where you don't have to be huge to get it necessarily, but because I noticed that last year at Fan Expo, Cleveland. I don't know if you've ever been to one of those Fan Expos.
Not actually.
Or Wizard Worlds or.
I've been to a couple Wizard Worlds, and
it's the same thing now. It's
okay.
Fan Expo bought Wizard World. Is what happened. So it's the same kind of convention. But I went and talked to one of the girls that was cosplaying there, and she had less followers than I did on Instagram and a couple other things. And I'm like, "How'd you get this?" She's like, "I just applied."
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Sometimes that's all it takes. Is you just have to put yourself out there. And...
Yeah. So yeah, I'll talk with Corey. See if there's any other Motu customizers out there that want to do something weird.
Corey definitely he did a collaboration with Toy Polloy, and he was like, I just asked him. So that was his advice to me, because there are a couple of people I want to eventually invite onto Color and hang out, and he was like, who are higher stratosphere, and he was like, just ask him. He's like, what's the worst that happens? They say no, they can't.
Yeah. There's nothing
So
wrong with that. Well, and I'll put that out here too. If anybody sees this, you send me, hey, I got a YouTube channel that does this. I will be on there. One day I was just on the chat with Oz, and I joined his live stream for
yep,
like 5 hours. I
yep.
did like
That's how most of us have ended up on Oz's Saturday night clubhouses. We chat with him, and he sees that we're sort of in the community and in the space, and he's like, "Hey, we're hanging out. You want to join us?" I mean, there's a little vetting. He did it open mic one time, and it was literally a shit show. So not again. So we can. I'll tell you offline because
yeah, that's fine.
about as much as I can say on YouTube without getting this whole thing yeeted. But yeah. So that's kind of just how it works. If you're in the space and Oz or somebody can vouch for you, like let's see, like our good friend Derek J. Hoover. I was just like, "Hey Oz, why don't we invite Derek one night to the clubhouse?" And we did. And Derek didn't embarrass himself or me, so here you go. So
Yeah, I try to keep it PG.
yeah, I usually do.
Yeah,
So
it's hard when you're on some of those ones, especially if Kayla's on there.
my feeling is if it's a stream after 6 p.m. my time, it's a little different, but I try to keep it. It's hard anytime I've had Kayla on a daytime stream just because it's Kayla. But
Yeah.
it's also a good reminder that my channel is made for adults, not for kids. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we're no Thanos coptering here, but
no,
yeah, but it's definitely interesting. I will thank anybody who does follow me from this. Follow me wherever you want. I have a Facebook, all that stuff. If you do Linktree, I think was it link.tree/Alpha Magnus, you can see all of those things. I've pretty much got everything now,
all right.
Twitters and all that junk. And then the other cool thing is you might see me at conventions. So if you have a local convention that is mostly toys, please send me a DM on that because I'm going to be making the rounds, going to all of these conventions and trying to hawk my toy goods once that time comes. So yeah, send me that. I'm reading all the chats. There's like a ton of stuff,
Yeah,
a ton of people talking.
yeah. No, that's one of the fun things about even my Friday day crew feels it feels like I'm trying to be a YouTube poser or whatever when I say stuff like that. But I have there are people who pop in chat and they have conversations independent of me, and it's especially when I'm coloring because sometimes I forget and people are here when it's just me. So it's cool that they
Yeah. Hey, no one would listen to me until I made them.
Yeah, right. And that's a good point. I forgot that not all of my peeps are my peeps.
Yeah, I'm East Coast,
and I'm being pretentious. Not all of the live chat crew are. No.
I mean, some of your people that watch these are in like Australia, right? They're sleeping right
I've
now.
got a couple Australian people who pop in. It's more so on like Sundays because it's a little bit earlier. Like I go 11 a.m. Pacific, so it's like afternoon in Australia the next day for them. So
yeah. So the next thing I might do for this, if you're a colorist and you want to color this thing, and we can go through that, send me a message too, like an actual like digital artist.
yeah,
because we might have to work something out. Because I would like to be able to like have these up at conventions and sell them, and
yeah,
we'll go over
definitely.
that. But I don't color. This would take me like 2 years to color this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Digital. I used to use markers for like comic art because right now what I get to do is take all of the characters that I am going to try to make, and I have to make a comic book of that, and I'm doing that by myself, so I just don't have time for all these things.
Yeah, no, I don't think I know anyone who does like digital coloring right now. I mean, I would offer to, but it's obviously takes a while to, especially a
Yeah.
comic book to color by hand.
Well, the comic book I'm less worried about. That I can probably do. I have a thing, but this kind of stuff I wanted to look like real
Yeah, you
nice.
need to. Yeah, you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
have
for merch, you want to have it like sort of. It needs to look like everything else. Whereas with a comic book, you can sort of get away with it because it gives it a vibe. So
years
anyway,
ago I bought a comic art thing on my laptop,
yeah,
and it was like $500, and so I can go back and use that now. So that's what I'll do. It was the lifetime license for it, so I bought it.
yeah. Somebody's not getting their package today. Thanks, Derek. Thanks.
Uh-oh.
No, just kidding. Yeah, all righty then. All right, let's wrap it up. My stomach just said, "Bitch, you need to eat."
Wrap it up.
So again, you also gave out your link tree, but again, across the bottom, Alpha Magnus Creations on YouTube. Check them out if you have not. Really quick reminder: Moby is trash. Always has been. Always will be. But also follow Alpha Magnus. And thank you, Alpha Magnus, for being here. Do you have anything releasing today people should go watch, or
I don't. What's today? Friday.
today's Friday?
I might have had a GI Joe one drop.
Okay.
But I just got a whole box of stuff that I'm going to be doing stuff on Monday. So next week is going to be chock full of fun. I got the Todd McFarlane. I've got. I'll be doing probably. I think I'm going to do Thursday live streams. They tend to be the better ones. But I might build this on Thursday.
That would be cool.
And then what was the other one? I had one other new figure that I just got this week. I don't know. It's some McFarlane stuff. My Turtles of Grayskull finally showed up, so that'll be showing up soon too. I'm not doing customs for Turtles of Grayskull yet,
Okay.
because I feel like they're doing what they're gonna do. So what I am doing that I will put out is I will be doing a bunch of shorts. So if you hate shorts, maybe don't just hit plus. But I'm going to be doing shorts with all of my customs on just a spinner and talking about them. So
unless you go into shorts don't show up for you. So there's no.
That's true. Yeah. But that's going to be my big thing coming up, because what I've noticed is I'll do these videos, and even you just mentioned it too. You hadn't seen them. They're so long that people don't always watch them.
Like a lot of times my like a day or two after live streams, people will watch mine. Like they'll put them on while they're driving around to listen to whatever thing I said. I'm gonna get myself canceled one day, I know. But it happens to everyone. That's what living in the modern age on the internet.
If I was gonna get canceled, they'd have to look up my 4chan account from like 20 years ago.
No, there you go.
It did not say Alpha Magnus, so I'm good.
Right. It'll take a while to find that one.
If you even can. I don't think they keep anything there. So if you do like want to check out some stuff, check out my Eternia video. Anybody who's looking for it. And then on my channel itself, I actually take all of the things that I like. I have basic toy reviews, which is anything, but I have specific ones for Masters of the Universe, Ninja Turtles, etc. And you can just watch those ones. And I found that if you only watch those, that's all that they ever give you of mine. So that's nice. I'm going to go through, and that's probably going to be my dirty weekend, is going to be taking all the tags. I have them all saved in a file, and then I'm going to have to tag all my old videos. So a lot of those are going to start recirculating now.
That's no fun, but no,
it's not fun, but I at least have it so that I can copy and paste them. So I got to go through all of my Ninja Turtle ones, put Ninja Turtle stuff.
Yeah,
it's a chore.
Gotta love a good tag. All right, really quick. What I've got earlier today, my Color and Chill Gem and the Holograms went up. It's a Misfits page for people who like the Misfits. tomorrow at 10 a.m., I have a scan of the 1977 Kenner Bionic Woman toy line. The little booklet that came with her. It's got some $6 Million Man stuff in there if you're into that. Sunday, I will be live at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with Aaron the Toy Enhancer. We're going to be coloring some more G.I. Joe. And then we're almost to May with the May the Power of the Force event that we're doing. Like a Punk with Toys has organized it, and it was my idea, but I let him, he ran with it, and I'm not as organized as he is. So we love that for him, and I appreciate that for him. So yeah, so that's coming up. Open it, Alex, open it. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you to Alpha Magnus for joining me, and thank you for watching. And I'm Alex, enjoy Ratatouille Princess, and I will see you in the next one. I think that's how you say it, right? That sounds right.
Peace.
Out. Bye.